If you have found these exercises helpful, please consider leaving a 5-star review of this podcast at iTunes, and be sure to sign up for my free newsletter at IELTS.com. This week, we are looking at a Part 2 cue card seen on a recent exam. As you may remember, last week we were looking at Part 1 of the same exam, which was on the topic of friendship. This week's cue card loosely extends upon this by asking the candidate to talk about a celebration from their culture. I'll read the cue card to you now. Describe a traditional celebration or event in your culture. Please say what the event is, when and where it takes place, why it is important, and share your personal experiences or memories related to this celebration or event. As always, the model response you will hear in this episode was scripted by an active IELTS examiner at the Band 9 level. Let's listen to the model now.
We will now start Part 2 of the exam. Please look at your cue card and start speaking about this topic.
I'd like to talk about a traditional celebration in my culture, which is known as Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr is one of the most significant and widely celebrated festivals in Indonesia, marking the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. The exact date of Eid al-Fitr varies each year based on the Islamic lunar calendar, and it's a nationwide celebration in Indonesia. Families and communities come together to observe this festive occasion. The importance of Eid al-Fitr in Indonesian culture is immense. It signifies the spiritual and personal growth achieved during Ramadan. People focus on prayer, self-reflection, and acts of charity, and the holiday is considered a time when families and friends come together to celebrate and strengthen their bonds. Additionally, it's customary to carry out almsgiving to help those in need, ensuring that everyone can join in the celebrations. Personally, Eid al-Fitr holds a special place in my heart as well. I have fond memories of the preparations leading up to the festival. My family and I would start by cleaning our house, purchasing new clothes, and preparing delicious traditional dishes. On the morning of Eid, we would attend a special prayer at the mosque, after which we would visit relatives and neighbors to exchange warm greetings and small gifts. To my mind, this festival exemplifies the rich cultural diversity and religious traditions of Indonesia, and remains a vibrant and meaningful celebration in the country.
Thank you.
Okay, this week we are going to do a speech shadowing exercise that uses one of the sentences from the response. I'll read this sentence to you again now just to refresh your memory. So the candidate says, people focus on prayer, self-reflection, and acts of charity, and the holiday is considered a time when families and friends come together to celebrate and strengthen their bonds. Okay, we will now start the speech shadowing exercise. Remember that you can access the full version of this exercise, plus over 100 other exercises, by becoming a paid subscriber through YouTube. For $25 per month, you will have access to the full YouTube playlist that you can listen to as a podcast. So this means you can train for IELTS speaking during your commute to work or even while you're exercising. Look to the description area of this episode to find a join link. Okay, if this is your first time doing a speech shadowing exercise, remember you should be speaking aloud as you listen. So you will first hear a portion of the sample, and then you will be given a pause within which to repeat what you have heard. And the point of the exercise is to try to adjust your pronunciation to sound as much like the model as possible. And in doing these exercises for just 20 minutes a day, I guarantee you will see noteworthy improvement in only a few weeks' time. Okay, let's go ahead and start this week's speech shadowing exercise. Enjoy. People focus on prayer, self-reflection, and acts of charity. And acts of charity. 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 And acts of charity. Self-reflection and acts of charity. self-reflection, and acts of charity. People focus on prayer, prayer, prayer. People focus on prayer. People focus on prayer, self-reflection, and acts of charity. I hope you found that exercise helpful. Remember to visit IELTS.com to sign up for the free newsletter. Thank you for leaving a like or 5-star review on this episode, and join me again next week for another speech shadowing exercise.